quaint seaside town of Peniche in Portugal plays host to the world's best. As you join us here on day one of competition, the Mio Rip Curl Pro Portugal now into heat 2 this morning. Kolohe Andino taking on Keanu, Asing and Alex Ribeiro in another tightly stacked heat as we go straight to competition. And already 2 minutes into it, eye on this man who used his backhand to a lethal approach in France last week. And Keanu Asing gets a little tube to start his morning. And a tight little pocket there to...
It feels like you're, basically wearing a shoe, and you lose a little bit of that feeling that you need to pull off maneuvers. So that could be the culprit right here. He's going to hit this little section late, right there, and kind of poke the nose. So we'll see if Keanu, he did have a couple of waves free surfing this morning where he looked fine.
So the injured Keanu Asing in round one of competition here. And now we pick up lovely backhand angle of Kolohe and somehow manages to hold on to that second turn. Gain a little bit of direction, probably variable winds. And Keanu Asing, wave number 2, tight snap as we saw last week in France. Another one. So that booty's on the front foot, not on the back. That'll help Keanu Asing just a touch, Ross, but great little rhythm there for the first 2 turns from the young Hawaiian.
I'm thinking barrels or airs. I mean, it's almost a waste of time just to go for nice snaps right now. You're going to get a 4 or a 5. And, those are 2. That first snap was really nice. He did fall in the third turn, so let's say another half a point, maybe a full point. But really, I like the fact that Kolohe is going for airs. He hasn't completed one yet. That should just be a really marginal score for Kolohe, but
they like the speed and the tight pocket transitions of Keanu, as well as we now phase to Kolohe, who will be looking to tee up that, and he'll just go unstuck, back foot landing incomplete.
He always lands these airs with ease, so hopefully he doesn't beat himself up too much. Going for that rotation. Looked like the board got away from his feet just a little bit. Typically, Kolohe does a great job of really covering his board. So if he gets a little too extended, the board gets away from him, it's hard to recover. Again, you can see that board barely digging right there. That one, he covered his board nicely, so he was planted, but right when he was about to ride out of it clean, the nose poked.
And now Keanu Asing behind the curtain, tracking. He's small and diminutive, but the tube is smaller, and it'll be an incomplete for Keanu Asing, who'll regroup here. Meanwhile, sets are clustered, so lots of action here with the 9-second period swell. And now a completion from Kolohe Andino, so he was going to look for that unlock. And meanwhile, Alex Ribeiro is also not scared to go to the air. You spoke about the criteria, the progression, and surfers are visiting that bulletin point on the...
Throwing down 4.5s for him, so... someone like Kolohe will be like, fine, I will go to the air. Thank you for the notice, duly noted. And so there you go, a clean rotation there. I like how this is torqued out, or corked out, I should say. Look at the board is off axis, which makes this air kind of cool. Didn't get the full rotation, but I think that made it more technical. He had a little more work to do as he landed. He had to kind of glide out of it.
Out here on the beaches, it just changes so fast, but throughout the day it should tend for an offshore wind, which will make conditions great, and as the tide pushes in, we'll see the swell rise a bit, and it should be a great day of competition.
So no big numbers just yet as Kolohe gets moving again. Soupy ramp, and it'll just bog his rail. So he'll just do the quick exit.
There's tons of waves like this right here, so it's easy for him to do that move.
Alex Ribeiro, the sparky Brazilian, finds himself a little pocket to work with.
There's tons of waves like this right here, so it's easy for him to do that move.
Alex Ribeiro, the sparky Brazilian, finds himself a little pocket to work with. Again, a lackluster performance in France, back to his 25th place slump. But prior to that, it trestles. A great run all the way to the quarterfinals. As Kolohe will continue to click into gear here. He'll want more than that.
Gotta get the job done really quick.
And now zoning in on Kolohe, who's just poached a left-hander on the way back out. 2 tight turns. Lovely defined angles from the young Californian. Himself always so punchy here in Peniche. As we see the rooftop float from Keanu. And gets a little bit of a drift. 90-degree angle to finish that wave number 4 for the young Hawaiian. And we're into the second half of the heat here, Ross.
A little on... Well, here we go, live action.
Well, let's stick with the Lovely Superman effort there. He'll go over the front, almost impacting his equipment.
Keeps the board planted to your feet. So every error that Alex has done, he grabs the rail. So that makes sense that he's going for this Superman right there. You can see, so now he's got control. Rather than letting the board, the wind kind of blow the board away from his feet, he grabs it, kind of sticks to it. So that's why he's going for those little rodeo flips, and now a Superman. Kolohe and Andino, 4.27 for 2 really nice snaps. I like that surfing right there. I think that's better than average, but again, the judges, they want to see either barrels or air. Yeah, and the good thing about this wave right here, it works on almost all tides.
And now a little pocket. Lovely backhand line. We saw him in France last week all the way to the semi-finals. And Kolohe Andino keeps the momentum. That man there, of course, taking the big win for a career best. Keanu Asing, our focus here in round 1 of competition again. Back to the drawing board as everybody starts in round 1 after a career high, and you see Keanu spill out there. And we were discussing it, Ross, off air. It's going to be a deep tube like that for Kolohe as he threads it beautifully. Little snap there, sparky turn. Kolohe will just grind out the end of
I think that's the quickest way to put the heat in your own hands. That's a pretty cool little barrel right there. It was almost like a tiny version of Pipeline or Chopes. You know, he had that technical late little drop. He grabbed rail just to fit that board down, that crazy tight little transition. Did a great job of it. During the break, 5.77 from Keanu Asing, finding the barrel. So there, another little potluck wave there. So this heat is getting turned up right now with the 7.5 minutes.
Going to be emulating something similar to what Kai Otten did for the heat win in round 1. Deep double backdoor tube. Of course, being a goofy footer, it does seem, Ross, that there are more left barrels on offer here than rights this morning.
Yeah, exactly. So it is sweeping across the beach a little bit more, promoting those lefts.
Split peak, Ribeiro, open hack, moves down the line, little soupy section, he'll hold it together, but a little medium pace to that.
He had a dumpy section you can see out the back.
Well, sticking with live action, Kolohe Andino will leapfrog out and over that lip section, incomplete. Be in the lineup. Let's have a look at what happened here, Ross.
Looking great. Too bad this board looks good for him. So nice snap. But here's a section. Look at that thing. No water on the sand. It was so shallow. So you get that beach break action where the wave is completely square. That is unforgiving.
As we're moving now to the end of the second heat of this opening day of competition, got to go into the air with a high loft in this round 1 encounter. And Kolohe Andino, using the progression and a couple of tight backhand snaps to add to the story, will go for a marginal heat win here.
Well, you know how Europe is. There's huge tide swings, and right now it's gone through a little bit of a moody phase, but conditions are supposed to be nice all day. That tide will turn around at some point. I think, you know, there's going to be a lot of great surfing ahead.